How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is about playing with these guys, in-ear monitors. In-ear monitors are an integral part of music these days. Everybody uses them, from the top superstars and pros in the music business all the way down to local gigs, and they're really good in house of worship settings as well. So we're going to go through a couple of different options of in-ears, what to listen for, what to look for in in-ears when you buy them, and just how they work in general. There's a bunch of different ways to get the sound of the in-ears to you. The simplest one that I'm using right now is just plugging directly out of my music interface here. I have the Apollo 8P down here on my right, and I'm coming directly out of the headphone feed, plugged into my in-ears, and the music is coming right here. So it's a very simple way to do it. There's no interference. There's no worry about wireless signals or anything like that. That's the most simple way to do it. Now, if you're on a gig, whether it's a club or a house of worship in a church or a big rock stage, if they have wedges on the stage, that means they can send you a signal to your in-ears. All they have to do is unplug the wedge and plug the signal into your in-ear feed. So it's a very simple thing to do. And if you're a drummer and you're sitting behind your kit the whole gig, there's really no reason to go wireless unless you get up and run around the stage and then come back to your kit. So it's an easy way to just not have any interference. You'll have a clean signal the whole time. Another great way to use in-ears, especially for singers, guitar players, and instrumentalists on the front of the stage, is to go wireless. And there's a bunch of systems to use out there, from affordable to obviously very expensive, depending on what your budget will allow. A great affordable system is the Galaxy Audio AS1100. Now, there's a couple ways to use something like this. You can use it as a wireless system for just yourself, one receiver and one pack. You get your own mix. But you can also get this exact system, the AS1100, with 4 packs. That means you all have to use the same mix, though, okay? Realize that. It's called the AS1100 Band Pack, 1 receiver and 4 body packs. It's a great affordable way to use in-ears in a house of worship setting or a small club setting. But again, you have to use the same mix. So as long as you all get along in your band, there's no fighting, there's no I have to hear myself louder than you kind of a thing. You can work around those issues. And it's a great, affordable way to hear yourself. Now, what in-ears do, is they block out all of the outside noise. The reason they're so popular and, well, a must for these days is that, live stages, even the big, huge rock and roll stages, all the way down to, again, your house of worship settings, stage volume was always an issue. Loud guitar amps, drums, all that kind of stuff. So they've been trying to figure out a way to minimize that, and in-ears are what made that happen, because you could take the amps off of stage, whether it's keyboard amps, guitar amps, you can put them somewhere else, not right on the stage. A lot of guys go direct with their guitar rigs these days too, so it makes the stage much more quiet, and it also protects the player's hearing, especially a drummer. These in-ears that I have here right now are Westtone's UM Pro 30s. Consumer in-ears that come with a bunch of different tips. This is a kind of a foam tip where you squeeze it. It comes on and off. They have a bunch of different sizes that come in the pack. You just find the one that fits your ear canal best. You squeeze the foam tip just like you would a normal foam earplug, right? Goes on very easy. You squeeze it down so it gets smaller. Then you put it in your ear and the foam expands. So what that does is it's like an earplug. It cuts down the dB level by, I don't know what these are exactly, but it's got to be at least 20 dB, which is a lot. That means you can send the signal of your drums into your ears and get a nice, pristine sound. You can play, you don't have to play as hard. A lot of times when you're on a big, loud rock stage, a tough thing for drummers is to be able to hear the kick drum. It kind of gets lost in a bunch of loud, distorted guitars. This way, you can hear everything just like you want to. And if you have the ability to have a great monitor engineer that travels with you, or someone that knows what you want to hear, boy, sometimes it's just like playing to a CD every night. You can keep the dB level down in your head. You won't go at home at night with ringing ears. You'll have great sound, and you can play softer with more finesse, and everybody can hear everything. The singers won't be complaining that the drummers are too loud, or the guitar players won't be complaining that the bass is too loud, and so on. Everybody has their own sound, and it just makes playing a little bit easier in really loud situations or even quiet situations as well. One thing to mention about in-ears these days is the technology is just going through the roof. Westone and other companies make in-ears now that have ambience functions. What that is, you know, when you're on stage, especially on a big rock stage, the hardest thing with in-ears is to be able to hear the stage, hear the audience clapping after songs and that kind of thing. So now what they've done is they've made it so you can dial in a little bit of the outside ambience and kind of get the best of both worlds. So you're getting the hearing protection, the great sound of in-ears, plus ambience around you. And boy, the technology is amazing. In-ears also come with, you know, when you get down to the more affordable consumer models, you'll have in-ears with 1, 2, maybe 3 drivers. They still sound good, but then when you get up to the big Mac Daddies of all of them, you can get up to 8 drivers in the in-ears, and they sound like the most expensive, great sounding over-ear headphones. The technology is amazing. Again, these are the consumer models, more affordable models that you can get, but if you do have some money and the budget will allow, you might want to check out getting custom in-ear molds made as well. You go to an audiologist, they put in this kind of rubbery, it's not plaster, but it's a rubbery kind of feeling material that they squeeze it into your ear canal here and all around the little crooks and crevices in the inside of your ear, and it molds itself to your exact ear shape. They send that mold to the company like Westone, and then the Westone puts the in-ear drivers and the speakers inside the mold. That's why, so you could put those in your ears and it's your exact fit every time. They're so comfortable. You don't have to worry about taking tips on and off or have them getting dirty. They're custom made to your ears, and if you can do it, it's a great way to go. The last thing I want to talk about in this in-ears video is how to get the music to you, routed to you, and what you want to hear. A cool thing about this AS1100 from Galaxy is that it has stereo input left and right. And if you can do it, it's always better to have stereo in-ear mix. That way you can pan stuff around the stereo spectrum when you're listening to it, and it makes the sound open up in your head, just like you're listening to normal music. You don't normally listen to music in mono, unless you love those old Beatles records, which sound great. So if it's in stereo, you can put the guitars on the right side, the keyboards on the left side, vocals in the middle. You can pan your drums around the stereo spectrum, and it just makes life a lot better, and it sounds great. But if you have to go mono, if you only have one feed from the monitor desk to you, it's not a bad thing. Just want to make sure you layer the sounds accordingly so you can hear what you need to hear most. As a drummer, you're probably going to want to hear the bass more than maybe some of the keyboard pads. So you just kind of have to figure out what you want to hear loudest and then balance it out as best you can. There you have it, everybody. In-ear monitors, a great way to protect your hearing and to hear everything on stage nice and clearly at every gig. In-ears work great in the studio as well. So if you want any more information about these Westone in-ears or any other in-ear system we sell, this Galaxy AS1100 wireless system, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer, and thanks a lot for watching this video.